Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, June the 5th. Race number 9 at Belmont Park. Stakes action for you. It's the Harmony Lodge Stakes. $80,000 is the purse. Fillies and mares going 3/4 of a mile. Before we get to the analysis, let me please remind you to try out those DRF new mobile pass performances. Experience classic PPs with true mobile interactive access anywhere, anytime on your phone. Access full cards in seconds and get the exclusive lifetime buyer speed figure graph. Learn more at drf.com/MPPS. Here's the field for the Harmony Lodge Stakes. You can download free formulator pass performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Mother, the number 9, Mike, is the 2-1 morning line favorite, coming in from Southern California after facing a pretty good win in Bellafina.
Yeah, she's faced Bellafina a bunch of times and can't seem to beat that horse. I think her real advantage in this race, Dan, is, as opposed to the two main rivals that I think she has some recent races and the other two do not.
We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. Timeform US does not believe the pace will be that fast. It favors horses on or near the early lead, according to this blue bar scenario. And the number 3 horse expected to make the front, that's Honey I'm Good. It's an advantage for Honey I'm Good, but I don't think a horse like Royal Charlotte has to be too far off of the pace. I think she'll be closer.
Yeah, I don't know how much I agree with this pace projector. Maybe it'll play out that way. Certainly there's not a bunch of, confirmed front-running types in here, but all 3 of the morning line favorites to me have really good tactical speed. They're not going to let this horse get away, I don't think.
Couple of long shots down towards the inside. The number 1, Last True Love, 30-1 on the morning line. We'll go back to Last True Love's most recent race at Laurel, a stakes placing in the What Is Summer. She finishes 3rd in this race. The winner came back to run 2nd in the Grade 3 Barbara Fritchie with an 86 buyer speed figure. Last True Love, a stakes winner at Mahoning Valley last year. This is a tough spot for her return off a little bit of a layoff.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, she's very consistent. She just doesn't really have a race that makes her look like a real contender in this race.
The removal of blinkers might have worked wonders for the number 2, Gypsy Janie, who's riding a 3-race win streak, including this performance back at Aqueduct on February the 20th. Solid performance for Gypsy Janie, the number 1, coming through in between horses to win for the 3rd straight time. But her buyers are light, and she is taking a big step up in class.
Yeah, I mean, she got good very quickly earlier this year and towards the end of last year. We'll see, what happens here following a little bit of a break and see if she can hold that form. Obviously, even the races she was running then, they're not going to be good enough in this field, Dan, if she gets a trainer change.
If the Timeform US pace projector is correct, perhaps a bit of an advantage for the 3. Honey I'm Good, who's coming into this race in good form for Steve Asmussen. We'll take a look at her most recent race on March the 13th, the non-winners of 2 other than optional claimer. Honey I'm Good stalked early, took over the lead, and she's really motoring in the upper stretch. She put this field away in quick fashion.
Yeah, she was really good in this race. And you know what? Basically all of her form, even her turf form is good, but especially her dirt sprint form, I think, is really good. I thought she ran very well 2 starts back when she just got nailed by Peter Bianchi, who's back in here. And she won this race very easily. She has a lot of upside, but she's in a very tough spot here against the 3 favorites.
First start against older horses for the number 4, Royal Charlotte, who has won 5 of 7 lifetime starts, a multiple graded stakes winner last year. And she was in tough last time out in the Raven Run at Keeneland. She was facing some talented horses. Bell's the one. The 4th place finisher came back to win an N2X at Churchill with a 95 buyer speed figure. And all things considered, I thought she ran pretty well in that race. She is coming off a layoff for Chad Brown, but she loves this distance. She likes this track. She's very dangerous. I think she could have a good year for Chad.
I do too. She's actually really good when you start really going through her form. I mean, outside of the test where for whatever reason she just didn't show up at all, every one of her other starts she ran really well. And I agree with you about the Raven Run. I mean, she didn't get a great trip in there. I don't think she was going to win. Bell's the one was very good in there, but I thought this filly actually ran better than it may look on paper. She has the layoff to deal with here. And she's facing 2 really good horses to the outside, but this filly has a lot of talent.
Carlos Martin has done a heck of a job with the number 5 Piedi Bianchi. She was always talented with Doug O'Neill and Todd Pletcher, but coming off of a lengthy layoff, she won 2 in a row for Carlos, including the correction on March the 14th. We'll watch that race right now. She comes from off of the pace. This is a 15-point reduction from her 87 buyer in her seasonal debut, but there wasn't a lot of pace for her to run at, and she showed a lot of heart and grit to get this done. She's the gray on the outside.
Yeah, she's just going to get up at the end here. The fractions of this race aren't fast, but this pace really falls apart at the end, and everybody's going to close up here at the end. You're going to see Piedi Bianchi get up. That Slimy, the one who's really running from last, and she's going to come up just short in second. The pace just totally fell apart late in that race. And Piedi Bianchi took advantage, and she did the same thing, I thought, too, back when she won. I'm not knocking her, Dan. If there's a pace in this race, I think she will run at the end. But she's gotten a little bit lucky to win her last 2, in my opinion.
Nisha tried Piedi Bianchi last time out in the correction. She was up close to that pace, but she really didn't have much of a finish and sort of an even performance. This is a mare that was claimed for a scant $12,500 last year. She's up against it from a class standpoint, 30-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, I mean, she's just probably not a stakes horse. She's a real nice horse in lower level races, though, Dan. 11 for 19 in her career. She's really good, very consistent, very tactical as well. I just don't think she's a stakes horse.
We saw the 7 Slimy rally for second along with Piedi Bianchi in that correction. She finished second to Gypsy Janie in her prior race. She's a horse that likes to come from off of the pace. I'm not sure she is the strongest closer in here, and she may not get the right pace scenario.
Yeah, it's all about whether this race sets up well for her running style. She does run at the end of all of her races. Another horse in here, though, it feels like she just might be a couple below some of these.
Shalone, the number 8, has a lot of back class. Second in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint in 2018, a multiple stakes winner last year. She ran in the Thoroughbred Club of America to close out her 5-year-old campaign. It was only an even performance against a very good field. After that race, according to Dave Grenning's Race Advance, she came out with some bone bruising. I like that Arnaud de la Cour gave her plenty of time to recover. She's got tactical speed, and you usually know what you're going to get with this horse. It's usually a buyer in the low 90s and a solid performance.
Yeah, she's just really good. It's amazing, Dan. When I was going through her PPs the other night, I was shocked to finally realize that she's not a graded stakes winner. I would have thought that she was. She's run obviously really well in a bunch of graded stakes, hasn't managed to win one yet. But overall, I just think she's really good, very consistent. I like her running style where you can just give her any kind of trip that you want. And she's great off of layoffs. She fired fresh each of the last 2 years. She was a debut winner in her career. Her trainer does great off of layoffs like this. There's just a lot to like here.
Mother comes out of the Grade 3 Desert Stormer Stakes only 19 days ago, cross-country ship for trainer Bob Baffert. She steadied in the early portion of that race when her stablemate Fighting Mad came over on her. She lost a little bit of early position. I don't think it cost her much in the end of that race. She finished 4th place, 3rd via disqualification. I guess she was flattered when Fighting Mad came back last week to win the Santa Maria with a big 102 buyer speed figure. I think Mother is here because they're trying to strike while the iron is hot. I believe Baffert realizes she's probably not a Breeders' Cup filly or a true Grade 1 filly. Let's get the cash while we can.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, she's getting away from Bellafina and Hard Not to Love, who she's just been running up against basically her entire career. She can't beat those horses, but when she's away from those horses, she's really good. Listen, I don't have any real knocks on her. I think she's going to be really tough in here. She has the recency edge on both Royal Charlotte and Shalone, so that gives her a real advantage. And I just like her sprinting too. She just makes a lot of sense in this race.
Pacific Ale, the number 10, is multiple graded stakes place, but it does not appear she has come back as good at 5 as she was in her last couple of campaigns for John Kimmel. Now, maybe she just doesn't like the Gulfstream surface, although she ran well on it in 2019. Her 2 races this year are underwhelming. I can't take her off those, even at a big number.
Yeah, I can't either. I mean, it's worth pointing out that she's outrun her odds several times in the past against graded stakes horses as well. So you know that there's something in there that could get her a piece of this, Dan, but I'm with you. I can't take her in this race.
We take a look at our top selections for the Harmony Lodge Stakes. We have the same superfecta, just in a slightly different order. You're going with Shalone off of the layoff. She's rock solid. She does have some tactical speed. I'll take Mother's recency edge. I think that's going to be key.
Yeah, I think it might be key as well. I'm just going to give Shalone a chance. As I said, she really does fire fresh for a trainer who's good off of layups. I, sort of felt like she'd be the third choice of the three big ones in here. That's mostly why I put her on top. But listen, she fits very well in here.
8943 for Mike, 9438 for me. It's the Harmony Lodge. It's the Friday DRF race of the day, and the 9th at Belmont has an approximate post of 5:36 Eastern. Good luck.